Alright, let's see if that works. We're just gonna go live for like an hour and a half today. I'm gonna make a decaf. We're just gonna be working on some gray box stuff pretty much. Nothing too crazy. Just taking gray box versions of systems and kind of getting them in the game. Alright, welcome Ewok. I'll stream what I'm doing here on Discord as well. So what I'm doing now is I'm just adding all the gray box to I'm actually like building up all the prison system mechanics in the test project. So just making in Blender, yeah. So this will be the area. I don't know if you guys can actually hear Ewok as well. Let me make sure that his volume's coming true. There we go. Yep. So there you go. They should hear you now. So what I'm making here, this 5x5 meter, will be kind of like an old CRT. And what it's going to be used for is in the prison system. Let me close out all this other stuff that I have running. But when you wake up in jail, it'll show like the countdown. It'll show like, you know, what your crimes are that you're in for and what the time duration will be. And you can just earn off. You can burn the time duration just by, you know, just doing a bit of work.
Yeah.
And you don't probably do a lot of 3D, but what I like to do is I'll create one blend file and I'll use two different scenes, but I'll put my gray box like in the same scene or in the same blend file, so I can kind of toggle between like the design. I'll have a design scene which will have like other prefabs and stuff in it just for my own layout. Like none of it's going to go in the Godot. It's going to be just like final version with, you know, everything. Then there'll be the Godot version, which is just kind of like this, just the asset with nodes that represent where the other collections will be, because they're going to be like separately imported in the Godot anyway. And then there's the gray box version, which is just like, you know, that just has the shape. And what's great, I can give this blend file to an artist, just put the gray box in there, and they can kind of go and create like an actual, like, you know, bubbly CRT and, you know, round up all the corners and create something that's kind of old school. It's kind of, you know, it's up to them, but at least all the dimensions are kind of defined.
Yeah, you basically get the rough outline of it, and they can finish up.
Yep. And the prison gameplay of my game is very simple. It's a welding mini game where you're just using your multi-tool. The multi-tool has a laser add-on, like a welding add-on, which ultimately will be used for when you're outside the ship trying to like repair it. It's just the repair attachment of the multi-tool. But
is it essentially kind of like how what's it called?
I think my music is coming through twice. Let me mute this track.
Is it essentially like how Dune does their little thing wherever you like mine a resource?
Yeah, pretty much. Like the mining tool has like a fracturing mode for cracking rocks. It has like a healing mode, like a welding mode, which is used for like, it's like either destruction or repair, right? Like two modes, and then there's also like a medical attachment.
Schedule 1 is at 84,000 reviews.
That's crazy. And I think, no, we're actually good. We're live. Okay. I need to, yeah, I never know if my chat arena is working. Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm in the art category today. It's kind of weird. Like sometimes you kind of like you know pick one category. If you're doing something cool in Blender, then it usually attracts some people. But whether game dev is more or better than this, it's kind of subjective.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know which one would ever get you higher on the view chance. Probably game dev, honestly. I bet you there's less competition in that one, but
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because in the art category, you do run into people that are just artists and they're not game devs, and they're like, "Whoa, what's this? This is kind of cool," you know. But it's kind of one or the other.
I need Maxi to hop on. Are you trying to limit test Godot to see how many nodes you can have before performance goes like down too much, or what?
I haven't personally. I've kind of what's that? 2 days in a row now. Fixia says, "Yeah, I know." I'm trying to get actually back into the routine. I got so much stuff I need to actually get done. I think at 500 things are starting to get kind of sluggish. 500 to 1,000. There's a real point where you really need to start thinking about like, how you utilize multi-meshes. Even to a point in this project where I think I'm going to build up systems that, like, if there's any station prefab that has multiples of anything, I'm going to try to find a way to load them in, like load in those meshes as multi-meshes, even if I have to do the collision separately. To really start trying to, like, or even on the editor side of things, like if I have a station prefab, make a tool script that'll go through and like bake the meshes down into like one mesh, or bake them down into independent grouped meshes that can be used as a multi-mesh. To really just, only load what needs to be loaded.
I think honestly check out how to use a multi-mesh, because I have not, like, I don't have a single multi-mesh in my game. Do I really think I'm ever going to need it? Probably not.
All they are is literally like the creation of grass. You feed it a mesh, and you can randomize it. You can just, randomize the position, or in code, you can create a multi-mesh instance. You just feed it, like the mesh, and then you feed it pretty much a load of transforms. right? So you create a whole bunch of random transforms. Like in my game, there's an asteroid field with 2 million asteroids, and it's running at full frame rate. With 2 million.
Can you use a multi-mesh for a scene?
You can use it for anything. Just remember that it's all on GPU, right? All you're doing is on a shader level. You're saying GPU. Here's mesh data. Here's a stream of positional data. Put it there, right? Like make a copy of it in GPU land. The issue is like there's no collisions on them. You know what I mean, or nothing like that. They only exist in the GPU, which is still fine because you can still have collision shapes and collision meshes and static bodies that are decoupled from the mesh, and you can even create like a system where you have an overarching parent static body with multiple colliders underneath it that were originally separated into their own game objects. Those are like the processes that I kind of eventually want to get into, where like I make kind of like authoring scripts that kind of go through the prefab and do things with it, right? Create like a copy that's kind of all merged and saved to the resource. Because when I get to that level too, I want that scene that gets created to be a copy that's also not in a T-res file, but in a regular binary resource. Like you can save scenes to be in text format, which is perfect for like going in and fixing them. But you can also save them in binary format, so they load extremely quick. Because all the mesh data within it and anything that's like saved locally in that scene is also in binary format, so it's a little bit faster. But if something goes wrong, then you're kind of you can no way, like once it loses a reference to something, the scene is pretty much corrupted, which is not good.
Yeah, it sounds like I'll stick away from multi-meshes.
But you will need it for grass and things. Like it's perfect for doing like massive distributions of grass.
You say I'll need it for grass, but like you gotta remember, I'm not doing any 3D craziness.
I know.
I'm just in 2D. I'm just in 2D, fam.
Yeah, you're probably gonna be fine no matter what.
Yeah, probably. That's what I'm thinking. But I was thinking about that whole grass thing because I was like trying to think, because I do intend to have grass, but it's gonna be on a destructible layer anyway, so I'll just have to apply the animation based off. Actually, I think I probably set that up right now, honestly. Thinking about it. But I still gotta finish my freaking stupid player animations. This stuff is dumb.
$1,024 by 1,024. Should do it by texture size. 512 by 512. Test prison button. Why are they in terminals instead of panels? Well, I mean, that's going to be a pain. Hey, let me stand. Hey, Scare Citizen, how's it going? We're doing prison system stuff today. I mean, the stuff is already in the main project for the prison stuff, but we're just doing the gray box version. I've started kind of going through a lot of this and creating some very low poly testing versions. So, like, this is how it normally looks for the prison. It'll look even better than this as we get there. But I don't know why my Blender does that. Why does it do that? Yeah, so gray box version, super light, easy to move around, and easy to test. So very light assets. You're working on a little project yourself? That's awesome. Yeah, so this is just going to be the prison terminal UI that shows you what your countdown is for your like how long you're going to be in prison for. And we're not going too crazy with it. Just all of this is meant to just quickly put it in the build and actually test it. Painting miniatures, it's awesome. We have an artist now, Scared, that I'm commissioning from the West Coast, and they're great. So I'm currently in the process of redoing the. I want to take a lot of the assets and do up a big wiki of everything. So like steal this YouTube window, which we don't need. So I'm doing like Unforgiven Space wiki. So this will be the asset wiki. I don't have anything here. I've just created it. this will grow into the public-facing wiki. But you know, ship components, coolers, you know, standard wiki code. What I want to do here over the next few weeks is define everything about each ship component from an art perspective. You know, like what are the models? What are the dimensions, right? Like what are the actual binding dimensions of each of the coolers? What are the hookups? What are all these things, right? So then the artist has everything they need. Like, and I'll kind of go through and create like a manufacturer's list and start using a bit of AI to like kind of feed in a whole bunch of tests. I started working on so I can find some of these. Right, so I started using some AI for some prompting, just to kind of like, you know, start kind of doing up some, you know, different brands for like the different places and the different like kind of truck stops, and you know, really like actually really love this little ship, you know, just in like a very cartoony kind of, you know, kind of doesn't look like AI but is AI style, and then creating like a bunch of different variations of things, and some of that work has been pretty good. But that's my goal. I need to get all my ideas, all the gameplay loops. We gotta throw everything into the wiki, and I'm gonna have to eventually get some people that can kind of help. Like, what are all the different combat skills? What are all the different, you know, hacking skills, medical gameplay? Like, you know, this kind of stuff. And this will kind of be because I do have master design documents, but they're all in Google, and I really need to get them converted over into like a Markdown and just have it all. So then, you know, all the lore writing side of things is here, because that really helps art. So I set up the wiki today on unforgivenspace.com/wiki, but nothing here yet, just new. Yeah, terminals aren't really terminals, because they're not terminals, they're just UI panels. Panel 3Ds, and they're technically panel UIs. I'm going to rename them, it's going to mess everything up. Panel UIs. Let me actually, yeah, open up the other one here. I can actually open up the other project and make that rename, and I'm going to push the changes that I just made to all that. Trying to work fairly quickly tonight. I only have like an hour, so I'm determined to see if we can get the UI for the prison system kind of working. Yeah, because I have, like, you know, physically I have the whole thing here, you know, ready to go, where you can go and weld and send the prison testing scene. But I want to get this into the systems project, but I don't need all this art. I only just need the basics, right? Just a very low poly version of this, where we can actually get the turrets working and like just get all the gameplay being played out. You know, everything from the, you know, actual fixing of the weapons and the resources and everything. So I say as I'm like not, you know, as I'm still on my other screen and not the screen that I need to be on. So I want to remake this because this is meant to be a mirror for each of these arms, but I want to make a low poly crappy version of this, in, you know, because I don't need all the details that we're actually seeing here. Really? Yeah, there we go. Turn out the world environment. Alright, so all this can stay in the project, and like, we don't need no details. I just want to make a very low poly version of the welding station, because I want to actually like make this work and kind of hook it all up. So get like the components spawning in and coming across, and the mini game of you actually like kind of, you know, tack welding the parts in order. crime level is going to be similar to GTA. Yeah, pretty much. Keeping it very simple. I'm not sure how many levels there's going to be yet. I might start off with just 3 levels of like crime, which kind of really just determines like because what I would like to do ultimately is the longer you're still being apprehended, the more money you're kind of worth, and the more kind of like as a more of a variable over time type thing, like where like where as you're on the run or whatever, there's a higher incentive to catch you, and as you stay you know you know out of the eyes, then you just become more value. But it'll start off as like a standard like misdemeanor, which has nothing but a fine. And then from that, there will just be your standard like they're coming to get you, they're going to try to destroy you, they're going to try to capture you. Which starts the process of warrants, right? Putting out warrants for your arrest. People are looking for you, like the medium tier. You can be caught. You can still kind of go paid off depending on the jurisdiction. But then the third level is going to be kill on site. You're like that's it. And in the first tier, you're still like on the comm network. You're still fine. Second tier, you're kind of forced to like do silent running. Third tier, you're very much like on your own. And then I can increase that to 5 levels with in betweens to kind of like add more gameplay. But at least starting for gameplay testing, we can just do 3 levels of crime, right? To keep it simple and see how it plays out. And like having the extra level at the very beginning might be nice though. It might 4 might be good just to give players like 2 levels of, oh no, I did something bad, I got to pay the fine, or oh shit, now it's worse, but I still can pay the fine. But I might just keep it very polar, like 1, 2, 3, just to kind of get some action. Just for because testing will kind of determine how fun things are. And it's very it'd be very hard to determine like how many levels would be like correct until because it'd be like you would be like you'd have a crime stat of something, like you'd have like you'd be kind of charged of a crime, and then you would have like an actual wanted level, and then you'd have like your you know kill on site. But yeah, this is the dealio. So I want terminals to be renamed. To unit panel UIs. And now this shouldn't change these now. Panel 3Ds, panel UIs. Cool. And we'll just close this out. Because when I push this code, it's gonna. Because that is going to change so much stuff. Yeah, because these are all going to be like deletions now because we're so refactored panel UIs. And Well, that's the prison panel you want. Yeah, prison panel UI. Which extends panel UI. I put the kettle on, make a decaf. Be right back. Okay, and then we'll define our button and the cursor. Yeah, and the collision shade, I'll just copy it. What are your smaller terminals? So. We want just the surface that we're going to be hitting. 0.1. And that's working good. And all we have to do in the future is just swap out this model. Okay, so this little model here will just be swapped out with the final version. And then we'll put this in our prison cell. And I think I'll make I'll make the doors for this as well, because we'll just swap those out as well. I'll just make a gray box version of the prison doors and set the animations up. Then I have our prison block. We only need one. We're also probably going to need a node. Station modules and scripts. Station modules, prison turret. Yeah, so let's do prison cell. We'll put it in the station's namespace. So we know 3D. And we'll give it a public. We'll use marker 3Ds for this. This will be the spawn point. And we'll have our list of prison cells in our block. And we can actually probably set an export up to we can kind of tie in, because there's only going to be one panel on each cell, so we can have that reference here. And we'll do it this way. We'll make sure the model. Just so the actual cell itself is, separate from its resources. And we'll nuke this. Put on our prison cell. Working on the prison system. And then in the prison block, We'll just put in 3 because that'll work. My goal, Antics, is to make all the. I want to get the single player stuff that like has worked in the final project working in systems. I want everything to be able to be played out in single player. Where are they? Over here. Yeah, so let's see what's up.
Is joypad the analog sticks for controllers?
Yep. You mean like by the naming convention? Like joypads are just like, I think they're pretty just
Yeah,
a
like
gamepad.
is that what it's called in because input event joypad motion? I assume that's
I think so.
that's analog sticks.
Yep. Layer 1, collision. Can't find model, that's nothing, no big deal. Skip terminal panel. Yeah, 1. Collision shape, enabled, debug color. Display is good, model is good, the terminal UI. Hub viewport 2D override, disable 3D, handle input locally. What's that? Root leak danger servers are curled up in the fetal position crying. It's so laggy. That sucks. Disable input. Embed the sub window. Yeah, input's fine. Focus is fine. Do I need to disable the input? I'm just passing it. Nope. Oh, shit. The panel is not defined. Yeah, this should be panel 3D. Panel UI. It's weird. I don't think anything is blocking it unless it like backface. Everybody on like the rear side of the collision shape or something. Yeah. Does the shot terminals work? These work. I mean, they're literally the same code. Yeah, it's so weird. What's so different about those? Wait, item component panel. Obviously, they're like double the size. Disable 3D. Alright, we're on layer 1. Just a standard world collision. Not disabled or anything. Sub viewport handles input locally. Disables 3D. No UI settings. And then on this, we have our mouse cursor and our input. Mouse mode is stop, force pass scroll events. Stop, force pass scroll events. Yeah. So the prism panel is fine. Open up. Because these little panels work fine. Unless I disabled. I don't understand why the shape is white. It's disabled. Why they get disabled? It's so weird. And let's go see if we can hit our test button. It works fine. So anyway, this will count down. So when we die, we'll probably want to appear here. We need like a logo. Or like, you know, the police. Like something weird, intergalactic security or something with some badge. I think that size is fine. This is good. It's at eyes, not smaller. I just want it to like have the time and the list of infractions. And these should all work now. Yeah. Yeah. Just give me a second to finish up in just a few minutes. I like the need, yeah. I think we can use the static in more. Hmm. Prison system. There goes magic. Hmm? Can you give me like a little bit?
No.
And I'll finish my stream.
Stay.
Okay. All right. I'll be back in a bit, and I'll bring the puppies out. You guys want to see the puppy? You want to see the new puppy? Come over here. Look. This is the puppy. Look over here. Or we'll be right back.
Yeah, she's trying to go up.
Let me just find my BRB.
Wait, because it's up. I like notification.
Let me mute my audio. Just need mute. Is music still coming back? I don't know how bad the music is because it's kind of piping back to my computer, then back over to you guys. Yeah, so the prison system. Well, we're kind of like the American system. So we don't worry about the game manager. We will. I don't know if I want to keep the reference here in the panel. Yeah, maybe I'll just do it on the prison UI. Let's update every 15 seconds. And how about we just go ahead and add that timer now? How's the game going? Pretty good. Just so we don't really want these terminals doing anything if they're not active. Timer was not added to the scene tray. Either add it or what? What do you mean? Oh, right. I'm redoing a whole bunch of gray box stuff now, Ghost Magic. I have like a whole different system that I want to do for the storing of ships. Like landing pads are going away, and we now have these like systems that kind of ignore the speed. The speed is super fast, but then when you spawn your ship in, all pads have enough space to actually store the ship. For the medium size, for large size, they'll be a little bit different, but these are the medium pads, so they actually like come up and be tracked and then come up. So the state at the very beginning and the end is exactly the same. So this will like, always make it so like all the ships are like despawning correctly and spawning correctly and not just like poofing into existence. Right, and then the way that we load and unload cargo with the cargo ramps is going to be a lot different. And there's going to be one of these kind of like, buildings with a cargo ramp, with a cargo elevator, or 74 SKU that you can pull up at a time. But I'm also doing loading and unloading bays. So you can go up to the terminal here. It'll be like right here, like a big panel. And you can choose what you want to bring up, right, from the cargo lift. Or you can choose like a selection of commodities, and they'll just keep spawning in on the actual ramp, on the, what do you call them, conveyors. So like that way, just from a speed perspective, like think airport, like when you want to like unload, you can just start yeeting stuff onto the belts, you know what I mean? And then they'll just get put into storage automatically as soon as they kind of get back, here. And then you're good. You can just kind of throw it all in there, and it should work as long as it's registering correctly or whatever. That's the idea. So that makes it a little bit quicker to kind of move stuff. But you can still also use the cargo grid that's on the elevator. So that's like the more classical approach. But I like the fact that you can queue up then a load of stuff to just continuously kind of come out, and you can just grab it and throw it on. There'll be like a little stopper on the outtake, and I think the intake belt can actually be a lot smaller because you're only ever like, you know, you do want a lot more, you know, when you're like getting ready to load. But I think when you're unloading, it's just going to be taking it as fast as you're putting it on there. So not sure. The size could be a little bit smaller to give us a bit more room for, you know, for actual like workstations and stuff. But I like this because you're actually overlooking your ship like spawning in, and you know, the system seems to be like this will be a lot nicer, and it works with all hangars, including those super large hangars. So we'll see what happens with it. I wonder if I should do like a. Yeah, I'll just add it. So let's make this whole prison walk. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, audio's getting choppy. So ideally, in the final version, right, we'll have different blocks, and then each block will have its own set of cells. I'm defining them all here in the main Prism module itself, but we'll kind of break them down into blocks. But I just want to keep it simple right now. So it'll work kind of like the way in medical is working. So for this test station, for this station that we're using, why not have medical modules here? It had medical. Prison block is there. Wait. So because this prison system is going to be like a fully custom thing when it's ready, it should be under the game manager. I want the prison system to only happen every 60 seconds. That should be cool. There's a module, so let's create something custom. Area 3D. Hey, propagation, how's it going? Yeah, let's do 2 by 2. How was your stream? I'm gonna make it red. Because this is going to be a kill box. Anything in it will die. But it'll die with a crime stat. That's going to be the idea, so we can test it. So we walk into this box, and then we become killed. Give us some room. We'll call it a crime area. And we'll make it auto-kill you. I'm only going to do it when we enter. I had a kill function on a player. Does it die? Right, so the player does it, they're gonna die. On die. Yeah, let's do public void set time interval. And then we'll implement that on everything. And we're just gonna set it to be 1. Or 3, I guess, in this case. So this will implement. Set time level. Yeah, I'll put it on here as a And that will be what by default? Nothing. No. Should be 0 by default. I think for all of it. And we'll just synchronize the crime level. Let me give you a shout out. Hopefully you're doing well. I don't know what else inherits from player. What we'll say. Oh, test player. I don't know what this test player is for, but they definitely don't have anything set up on them. Oh, I must implement. It is implemented. Did you keep saying that? But I already fixed it. Why can I not be the primary though? Oh, it's there, it's just really subtle. you don't actually see the internal ones if debugging is enabled. Could be a lot less. Round level 3, kill the player. And ideally, we want to change the death mechanic to take crime into consideration. So I can't see the kill zone, but it should be right here. Maybe on this side. No? Weird. Yeah, why is it? Yeah, when I select it, I can see the collision zone. Thing. Prime area is player. Player is on 1. Yep, 1. There's the player. Player entered prime area. Prime will be what color? Maybe red's more error. I mean, we'll do red anyway. Body entered should be triggering by the crime area. And I guess I'll throw a mesh here just for the time being. I don't know. I'll put a box here just so I know this is the kill area. The debug shape's not working. Let's walk into it and see if it works. Yeah, so we're entering. It's supposed to respawn the player, but it didn't. It didn't kill us. Or we like immediately respawned where we last were. Yeah, it's not killing us. Don't we have a medical testing scene? Security testing. Maybe we'll add an advanced NPC into the this world, and then we can fight them. And then if we die from the security NPC, we won't just respawn. We'll go to jail. Because that would be the appropriate mechanic anyway. So we get the attention of the security guard. Security guard kills us. We die. And instead of respawning in the nearest medical, because we have a crime stat, we'll spawn in the next. Yeah, so we could actually do that here. And yeah, the security testing actually is probably the best place to do that. So on our test station, yeah, I need to actually I need to create a stations or like a modules node. I hate having like a million nodes, but I need something to kind of separate some of the. Let's grab the gray box. Let's throw this here. And then add this to our station manager. Right, so for prism modules, we'll add our prism module as an override. Right, because we have our medical modules here, we have our prison modules. Yeah. So when he is shooting me, right, we should be, our player health system should be taking damage. I wonder why that's actually not doing that. Why is the player health system setting the animations and not the die command itself? And like, we should be locking the player anyway if they're gonna die. Yeah, I guess we are still technically using. Yeah, I think instead of die. Yeah, because all we're doing on die is asking the game manager to respawn us. which we can actually just use our game manager instance. Spawn player with this. This is all dies done. Because, like, we're setting, you know, like, revive. Yeah, we gotta think about that die code. Turn into a respawn. Okay, so that works. That puts us back in the medical bay, but does kill us. Yeah, but actually we're actually facing the right way when we die too. I don't know why it kind of like locks us to the right, to the wrong. Okay, okay, cool. So if we die, so if we die in single player, the respawn player needs to actually check So first we're checking here for medical. But first we're gonna check for prism if they have a crime stat. If player get crime level, I just expose it. No, I have a set negative on it. Yeah, good. It's greater than the Then we're doing prison stuff. How many different types of characters? I don't know, like what are we using test player for? Like, I don't know. It's weird. I'm waiting. What do you mean? Right, public ink get crime level. Yeah. Alright, so if we have a crime level, I'm gonna check. We're gonna go through our stations. And then if the station manager oh yeah. Do that. Get 3 prison cell. Yeah, we can use the same system. No. Yeah, and an occupant on the healing tank side. It's just a node 3D reference, which could be anything. So we've used those before for the NPCs. Because it could be a player or a... So that way we just iterate through the stations and see if there is a free... Yeah. Yeah, so for each station, we'll say prison cell, and we'll ask that station manager get the prison cell if the prison cell. Oh, really, if it is null, we just continue. And if it's not null, then we're good. We do a check again. And refactor for our PCs. Okay, let's just do a single player respawn. You know what? Maybe -3 is fine. And we want to be looking. Yeah, I'm gonna look this way. And that should do it. If we get killed now, if we have a crime stat, it should put us in a jail cell. Or whichever the nearest. Assuming that it's setting the crime stat correctly. Hey, we're in jail. So why are we on the floor? Oh, it's floating. Why is it floating? Me? Weird. We could do like 0.01 just to stop the clipping. Now, if the NPC is also giving us a crime stat. I don't think it is though. So one should kill us and the other should put us in the hospital. But let's just see what happens when we die from this guy. Oops, I killed him. So I should end up in the hospital. Which I do. Back to tank. Alright. And now let's enter the kill zone, or the crime zone. And die from the crime zone. So we died in the crime zone, now we're in jail. So because I want the system when we die to register on the game manager that, you know, we are the occupant of this cell. And then this refresh timer. What I'm probably going to do is put like a little, I don't know, little screen that you must touch to interact, and when you touch, you'll register yourself on this console, and then you'll just ask the the prison system what your current time is. So, because that way we don't need to assume. Otherwise, you'd have pulled this from the prison cell information. So, assuming the player has been set by the prison cell, we can actually just automatically assume the player has been defined. So if we go somewhere else, it'll have like no countdown, only on the one that's assigned to us. So. But that's it. I'm gonna leave it there. It's midnight. I'm gonna go raid someone. Hope you guys had enjoyed the stream. I'll end it here on YouTube.